Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-trent. Today is Monday, and on Mondays I do mini tutorials, which I call Mini Monday Madness. They're like 3" by 3" pieces of paper that I paint little ideas on them. Today we're going to be painting pansies, bright colored fun little pansies. I thought I'd do something really bright and fun to get your mind off what's going on around the world today. I know it's a little sad and this week's going to be pretty intense, especially here in the States. So let's do something fun and bright. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Pay no attention to the messy studio. I had a flood like a week ago and it's a mess. That's life though. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go over my supplies. I have some 3" by 3" pieces of scrap of my Arches 100% cotton paper. I have my palette of my paints over here, paper towel, water, various brushes. I've already penciled in the pansy. Basically it's, like a half semicircle, and then you got some little ones over here. Let me see, I'll show you. See a semicircle like that, and then you just do these little ones over here, and then another one here. So it looks like that, if you can barely see that. I'm going to erase that since I drew that. I want the pencil to be very faint. Just a guide. Actually you don't even need it really. It's that simple. I put in this color here. This is the Wild Rose Dr. P.H. Martin's concentrated watercolor to mix in with my rose to get that fuchsia color. So I printed off the web from like one of those seed companies just to get an idea of the different colors you can do. Fuchsia, dark purple, purple with the yellow. We're going to work on that one because I'm sure people have a hard time getting the yellow not to bleed into the purple and making a mess. I have a pansy tutorial already. It's just a purple one, but this would be fun just to do. If you did a bunch of little ones, it'd be cute. You could put it all over your wall. You can do like a string and just hang them everywhere. It just makes you feel good. So I'm going to grab my Princeton number 5. It's kind of a small brush. I could grab this other one that I have. Okay, I think I'll grab that one. This is the Princeton 8 Long Round Velvet Touch. The Velvet Touch series is great. I love it, as you know. So, we're going to start by putting some water in the area, or the bottom area that we drew in, not the top. I don't want to bleed it all right now. Just water that section that's going to be filled in. And I'm going to do this with that bright pink, the fuchsia pink. So we've got that wild rose, and then I'm going to add in a little violet, and you've got this fuchsia color, which is fantastic. I'm going to make this fairly loose. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that in here. It's going to bleed because this is already wet. I love how that bleeds. Even right there, it just looks like a cool pansy. I'm just going to push that in. I'm going a little closer so you can see. Around where I have my wet, see, it's all just going to blend in where that wet part of your paper is. Looks very tie-dye right now, doesn't it? Has that tie-dye kind of quality. It's kind of cool. I'm going to fill it in. So now it's more damp than super wet, but it's still wet because we got it wet first, and then we added some wet paint. This is where you want to get, it's a little tricky. You don't want it to have that ugly bleed, the spider bleed. So I filled this in. Kind of clean off my brush. And now I'm just going to grab some of this. I have this violet, permanent violet over in here. You can see that. And see how this one has this, fuchsia has like this just blackish center. I'm going to scroll back out of here. Like a black center. It's almost, I'm going to just do violet. That looks almost black violet. And I'm just going to tap it right in the center and let that bleed out. And I'm going to get a thick amount of paint. The thicker it is, it's not going to bleed as crazy. And see how they have this, or it goes in like that. You can do that. Or just do the simple bleed like I'm doing. Now I'm going to put that down here. I'm going to push it down here, just like a line, and it will bleed like that naturally. Has that natural bleed to it. A little bubbly. Take out those air bubbles. They'll pop on their own. Just playing around with taking them out. And it's going to have that natural bleed. If see, it's getting a little ugly here, because maybe that was a little too wet. I'm just going to clean up your brush, and you're going to mop it up a little bit. And it will stop the bleeding. I think this is a fun tutorial to do, especially this week when things are really insane. Just trying to keep positive. Add a little dark tones with the purple. Just on the edges, just tapping it in. You see that? Just lightly tapping it in. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I go to the back flower, because if you do that now, it's just going to bleed and it's going to be ugly. We'll come back to that one. In the meantime, let's try one of these yellow ones. So the yellow ones have yellow, and they have like a red, or we could do purple with yellow, but let's try a yellow one. And that's more like an orange yellow. So I have this dark yellow, which I've been calling medium yellow forever. I'm going to add a little medium red, and it gets that golden yellow that you see with the pansies. Here I'm not going to put water down first, I'm going to put the color down first. Again, the same type of spacing and like we did with the first one, composition. Just going to fill that in. Now, this is getting a little tricky because you could add the dark purple to it, and I'm going to add a little medium red to the edges. So it'll blend in a little bit. Some lines like that. You don't want it to look muddy. So we're going to add that purple. Don't want it super wet. Just that creamy texture like I have here, which means it's more paint, less water. And I'll dab it on my paper towel. And let's see this little bleed happening. Adding the purple. Just a little bit at a time. See? That's not too bad. It's a little muddy, not too bad. It's doing that spider thing. We don't want to do too much. We can actually paint out these little spikes out here too, if you want to do that. So it's not too bad. If we get the paint even thicker, we can just make those little spikes like you saw in the picture. And then this one, like even this one, you can do the bottom yellow and the top purple. I mean, there's so many varieties of these things. Again, we're going to let that one dry. Now see, this one dried. I'm not too happy with it. I'm going to go back in and take some of that paint out in the middle while it's still damp. There. And then I can go back in and add thicker paint. And those little lines we can add. It's still wet. Let's go do a pale one with the yellow. This one. Where is it? Obviously, you got to paint the yellow first, because if you don't, then you can't paint it on top of purple. You could if you had gouache, but we're painting with watercolor. So I've got some yellow on my brush, and I'm just going to put that yellow in the middle like so. Don't want it super wet. Oh, so I had some purple on my brush. It's making it a little muddy. Okay, so we got some yellow there. Then we'll start adding some pale purple. Now that I've used mixed with some purple with some ultramarine, so it has this pretty pale. And that one you need to be a little wet, and then you dab it on your paper towel, like here, so it's not super watery. And then you get this nice pale purple color. You paint the outer one and the other outer one. Again, still filling in that pale purple color. And then we're going to go and do the bottom one, which is connected to the yellow. Still not touching that yellow yet. Getting close to it though. And we're adding in some more paint. And still some more paint. So we're building up this one. This yellow should be a little, grab that dark yellow and just dab it right there, because it's supposed to be darker in the center there. I'm going to clean off our brush, and we're going to go in and kind of blend this a little bit. Try not to make it muddy. And then we could add some more yellow in here. Okay, we're gonna have to let that one dry because we're gonna put these purple lines in there, like you see here. And if we don't do that, it's just gonna bleed. We can still do the top half on this one with that pale purple color. Just as wiggly, and just fill that in. Now you can leave it pale. I'm going to add a little of cerulean blue with the violet. And just dab it in here. Just want a little darker bluish purple. I'm cleaning off my brush and patting it down because I want to blend it. See, I'm kind of blending it up to the top. You have to kind of work fast because, like I said, this medium is a hard medium. It leaves hard edges. So it's like more of a blended purple. And this one is pretty dry. You can add these lines in here. And we'll get the deeper ones in after the yellow dries. But I'm adding in the medium tone of the purple. More like a violet periwinkle color. Now we're going to let that sky dry. Let's go back to the fuchsia one. Working with 3. So now we grab that fuchsia paint. We can fill in the top part without it bleeding into this bottom area. Wet, not super wet. Wet enough that you can bleed paint into it. It's really coming together. See, I'm taking the darker color and just tapping it in here. I'm going to tap it up in the edge too. And just put some lines in like this. If they don't blend well, the weird squiggly lines, you just go back in and clean up your brush and just push out the paint if you don't like that. Again, I'm adding in more of the deep fuchsia color. And a little purple on the edge here, the shadow. Just dabbing it. Pretty much, that's that. And you can grab the purple at this point and do those little spiky lines if you want. Get those details in, because this part is dry now. And clean off your brush, and you can add the yellow center. And you have completed one cute little pansy. It's very fun. Going back to the yellow one, I'm going to go back and add the yellow background of this pansy. Just fill that in. I like to do like a slightly jagged edge. Can add some deeper yellow tones. I do the little yellow with the medium red. Just hit the edge of that, blend that in a little bit. And you put some lines going from the purple outward. It's tricky with this one because, you know, yellow and purple opposites, they're going to make brown. So you want it pretty. So I'm going to add some more of that violet, maybe a little ultramarine, brighten it up, and just get back in here and go on top of that. Now that there's a dry layer, try and just punch it up a little bit. And you can add the little spikes. You know, if you want to do that. Careful bleeding it into this back part. And I'm going to go back to this guy. Now that that yellow is dry, we can take the purple, violet, and we can do those little spikies that you see. The deep tone. Now some of them will have the spikes going just in the middle outward. And I'm going to add my little 2 cents on this one. It doesn't have to be realistic. It pretty much looks realistic, but I'm adding some more purplish tones going outward up here. You play around with it and how you want it to look. Do some red ones. But that's pretty much it. I mean, they're fun little guys to paint. If you want to add some greenery to them, you can do that. This guy is still a little wet. You know, the center of the yellow is supposed to be another yellow. Grab that in there. That's a little tricky one to paint. They're fun. You could do a whole bunch of different color ones. And then you can add some green if you want. The leaves. I've got some greenery here. I don't know if it's necessary, but if you want to, add some greenery. I feel like it's boring, just sitting there all by itself. Just put some green right out here. The leaf. and a stem. Again, you don't have to do that. I'm just going to add that just to give it some va-va-voom, I guess. Just a simple bloppy little leaf. Maybe something peeking over here. Just very loose. Do something really loose over here. Just to change it up. And there you go. Mini Monday Madness Pansy style. 3. You can do like a million of these. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Oops, sorry. I know it's a quick one and it's not that detailed today, but you know, things are stressful right now and everyone's just looking to do something quick to enjoy their day, get their mind off of it. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you're staying safe and staying inside, and if you're not inside, you're outside. Super socially distancing. I know it's nuts. Hopefully this will all be over soon and we can all just, I might not get back to normal, but enjoy each other's company once again. Thank you again. Have a great day.